Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you to 10-Minute Trades. Quick start. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-Minute Trades, and I really have to say that I'm honored that you're giving me your time. Very, very impressed how many people have signed up to be in this webinar. And the most important thing that I want to start with is I'm not here to sell a single thing. This is a service and a free service for us to relate to you and to just help you to get started, whether you're a member of 10 Minute Trades, thinking about being a member. But our goal is to explain virtually everything about what we do, what we are, and how to get the most out of your experience if you deal with us in any way. So I would love it if you put everything down and give me your full undivided attention because I'm going to cover a lot of things. For members, some of it will be refresh, but a lot of it will be new and good clarification on how to use so many of the new tools that we are putting into place now and very shortly as well. So this is a quick start, how to get the most out of your 10-minute trades product and services. And once again, my name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-Minute Trades. And before I get started, we always have to, have a disclaimer. The disclaimer always is that you can lose money trading futures. Always trade properly. Don't trade more than you can afford to lose, and trade extra money that you have, not your mortgage money. And just be aware that if you don't put in the time, then you will not do well. If you put in the time and spend the time to learn, backtest, learn all of the things that we try to explain that you should do, then there is a great possibility that you'll have a great experience as a trader. So save your questions mostly for the end. It'll be much better if I can get to them and keep my mind on target, on the exact subjects that I want to cover, because there's a lot of them today. What's really interesting is I want to get your attention, and what got my attention this week was we had the most amazing trade that we ever had in our trade room. We've had the most amazing 2 weeks that we've ever had in our trade room in all the years I've been here. And I've been here it's going on more than 3.5 years. One member made over $9,000 on one trade. And I've never seen anything like that, other than, some of the high end gurus in some of their rooms. I've seen some wild stuff take place, but one of our members made $9,100 on one trade in seconds. Okay. That is what you aspire to when you become a member of any room. You're hoping to have that experience. And it's my goal to help educate everybody that we deal with so they can learn how to have that experience. So I said that our incredible period of 2 weeks that took place in our trade room, it really started more than 2 weeks ago. It started on September 13th with the United States US retail trade. Now, that's a trade that I trade in a very specific manner. I trade it with one contract because it can be a volatile trade that can, if it goes against you, the stop is pretty big and it can cost you some money. So I've devised a method of trading that it's not unique or brand new, but it's something that I wanted to make all of our members very aware of. You can find a way to trade just one contract and trail with that one contract. I call it the one contract trail method. I used it on US retail. It's a way to make a very nice profit if the trade goes in your direction. And US retail went in my direction, and in a couple of seconds, I made $200 with one contract. And that's the point. We do everything in our power to find methods that will help you make money and keep your risk as low as possible. So, with that, I wanted to just let everyone know that while we've had the greatest 2 weeks that I've ever seen in our trade room, it really started back in September. And it could be September of any year. This could happen anytime. And it's all a question of putting your nose to the grindstone and learning how to do what we would like you to do. So let's get started. I want to welcome everybody. Like I said, this is me. I'm Lee Goldstein, the trading director. The reason that I always insist on showing this picture rather than me trading in front of 18 different monitors is because I'm a regular guy. That's the whole thing. I'm a regular person. I'm not a financial advisor. I didn't go to college for trading or finances, accounting. I'm a music major. I was a music major. I still perform. And I love trading. And the only difference between me and you is I've been doing this longer. And you've been to some of my webinars, many of you. And, that's the point, is that I'm a regular guy that happens to be able to teach because I've been doing this for a long time. I want to thank everybody that's a member of 10-Minute Trades for being a member. I can't tell you how much we value the trust you put in us, and we absolutely look forward to helping you in your trading. So here's a rough schedule of what we're going to do today. We're going to go over who we are, what appointment-based trading is, an overview of the training, how to navigate the member area, getting started with NinjaTrader because you need NinjaTrader to use our software, and we trade futures. We have a report called the Weekly Market Movers. That's the critical first step in our week. We then convert our weekly market movers into the best daily trades called the daily market movers. We want you in our trade room, the inner circle we call it, so that you know how to behave when the trades come up, what to expect, what might happen. If you come in the trade room, you're going to see all these things take place in real time, in a live scenario with real accounts. We want to introduce you to our JOBB software, our Prime Trade Masterclass, which is a key element to everything that we do. If you come into our trade room, you've heard the Prime trades, you've seen how good they are. We will absolutely be recording this, Alan, absolutely. We will explain how to get help. I'll take all your questions and answers, and I will not leave this room until all the questions and answers are gone through. I am not going to cut this short for any reason. So let me start at the beginning, who we are. Our company has been around for 7 years. It's not like we're a fly-by-night company that just all of a sudden showed up and we figured out, hey, we got 10-minute trades and we want to take your money, and that's not what we're about. We have been here for a long time. 7 years in the trading business is forever. We're a small company. There's 3 people that work here. There's people that help us on the outside, but we really are just 3 serious people that work here. We originally started as J-O-B. It really was called JOBB, JoeBracketBreakout.com, okay, or JoeBracketBreakout.net. And that really started as our founder, Jay Offner, Jay Offner, Bracket Breakout. He wrote a software program that was a bracket breakout program, and that's how the name came to be. We then decided that we really wanted to let people, that JoeBracketBreakout.com, nobody knew what it meant. It made no sense except to us. And we changed our name very briefly to the NewsTraders.com because that was exactly what we were doing. And we've changed to 10-minute trades very recently because it more clearly defines the type of trading we do. All of our trades take 10 minutes or less on average, sometimes seconds, okay? So we now call ourselves, some people don't even know what our name is these days, and we didn't mean to confuse people, but we are 10minutetrades.com. We didn't change our name because people had problems with us, like so many companies do. We didn't change our name because We didn't give someone a refund and they left us bad news on Google. In fact, I invite you to Google all of our names, and I don't think there is a negative word written about us anywhere. If there is, I would be shocked, and I have not found it. I look on a regular basis. We have a pristine reputation because we're honest and we care, and anybody that knows me knows that I love doing what I do. I love teaching, and I love all the people in our trade room. And I would do anything so that you could succeed in appointment-based trading, which is now what we call it. Even as a small company, we are an industry leader in the space of appointment-based trading. So what is appointment-based trading? What is news trading? What is event trading? Appointment-based trading are trades that happen on specific days, specific times, based on three primary trade triggers: economic reports, news, earnings, market opens and closes. And there could be a few other things that we didn't put in there, but if you think about it, it might just be a certain range in a market. It might just be you want to trade in a discretionary fashion, and you can do that as well. There are times where if you keep an eye and an ear on the news, that things are happening that make indexes move, and our software lets you trade those events. Basically, appointment-based trading, more specifically though, is a trade trigger from an economic report or a specific event that is going to make an index move. Our trades are often announced up to a month in advance. They almost all take well less than 10 minutes or less, usually less than a minute. And you can fit our trades into any schedule. And that's one of the points that we try to make. Choose a trade, make an appointment with the market at that specified day and time. We know, I'm not going to say that we feel, we know that appointment-based trading is the only way to trade and still have a life outside of the markets. Other forms of trading, as we all know, we've all been there, take hours, days, weeks, months, and sometimes even years to complete a single trade. You'll sit in front of your computer waiting for setups. Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't come. With appointment-based trading, you choose the trades that fit your schedule, and you're in and out of the market in 10 minutes or less. For more information specifically about that whole concept, watch the video on our page, www.10minutetrades.com. Okay? Here's a quick overview of our training. The first step is the weekly market movers. After the weekly market movers, we move to the daily market movers. The Inner Circle Trade Room, JOBB software, our Prime Trade Masterclass. So let's take a look at the weekly market mover. It's our weekly schedule of the appointment-based trades that we'll be trading and watching in the week ahead. It comes out every Sunday. We email it to our members, and we post it to our new website. This is what that report looks like, and I'm going to go into further detail on this report in a few minutes. Okay, but that's what a typical weekly market mover looks like. To sign up for the weekly market movers, it's free. I promised you, I'm not selling anything today. Go to our www.10minutetrades.com, opt in on the home page. You'll also get our report on how to find 10-minute trades, but you'll be signed up if you give us your email and just sign up for the free report, the weekly market movers. You'll also get our video on how to find 10-minute trades. The daily market movers are an in-depth analysis of the trades we'll be trading or watching the following day. The daily market movers come out the day before the scheduled trade, and that's very important. So you know the day before, like this morning, we had the University of Michigan. If you were doing your homework, That report was posted yesterday. It was emailed yesterday, and you knew how to trade that report before you got to the trade room. However, markets are volatile. In the trade room, we really cover how to trade these volatile markets. They are wild. Gold moved 30 ticks in one candle today before the University of Michigan report. Yesterday, in the WASD grain report, it looked like the news was released before the report came out. It was amazing. If you had not been in the trade room, you might very well have canceled the trade. And in fact, people did cancel the trade because it was extremely concerning. But in the trade room, we try to keep you abreast of what you should do based on the way the markets are behaving. The daily market mover reports often have 1 to 3 trades, sometimes even more, per report. This is what a daily market mover looks like, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on them in a few minutes. That's the daily market mover. We used to call them the HIRA, the high impact report alert, but we've done a lot to them. We've added a great amount of information and made them much more useful. To sign up for daily market movers, this is all going to be recorded. This is where you sign up for daily market movers. The Inner Circle Trade Room. I can't tell you how important to me the daily market mover is. I think it is absolutely the most important element that we have. Now, hold on. I'm going to put a hold on because someone's asking me about volume. I'm going to check my volume. I'm going to actually stop the video for a second, so bear with me, folks. Okay, so I was mentioning the trade room. To me, and it's not because I'm the trade room moderator, to me, the trade room is the most important piece in what we do. In the trade room, you can trade live with me over your shoulder. You can watch me over your shoulder. We have a webinar almost every single day in the trade room, going over the reports, going over the current market. Maybe we'll make a change to a report. I often take the trades live in my real money account so you can see what's really happening. If you're not trading live, then why are you not trading every single trade in simulation? If you're serious about your trading, you should unequivocally take every trade in simulation once you set up your Ninja account, and then that's the best way to learn, by practicing. If you take your trades in simulation, by the time a month has gone by or 6 weeks has gone by, you will be an expert. And you'll be able to start making money trading news reports, events, appointments with the market. There may be multiple trade rooms on a given day. Some days we'll have a trade room at 6 in the morning, and we might go till 10 at night for Chinese news. The trade room, in my opinion, is the key to everything that we do. Everything flows from the trade room. How the trade behaves, what happened the previous month, the previous 3 months. Are we going to trade it live? Are we going to trade it sim? All of those issues are discussed in the trade room. The trade room times vary. Every day they're different. We don't keep our trade room open all day long. We open our trade room, remember, we use the weekly market mover for the times the trade room opens, and we use specific trading triggers to open our trade room, and we are compatible with Ninja 7 and Ninja 8. To join the Inner Circle and get access to the trade room, this is the link, okay? The key to the trade room and the key to succeeding with our system is using our JOBB software. When I joined this company years ago, our software was it was great, but it was very simple. It couldn't trail stops. It only allowed for 2 positions. When I was done, after 2 years, we updated our software probably about 10 times. and we turned our software into a sophisticated but easy to use super ATM custom strategy add-on to NinjaTrader. The way to think of my software, our software, is it's a program that installs inside of NinjaTrader that has multiple setups. It'll automate your trade entries, targets, and sometimes your stops. And I say sometimes, which I'll also explain. Think of our software as a super ATM program, automated trade management. You don't anymore ever have to write a convoluted language that's part of the platform to make your stop move or to control your trade. Our software, by just entering numbers into a field, acts as a super ATM and handles all of that for you. To get a license for a lifetime, that's the link to get the license for the lifetime license of our software. Our Prime Trades Masterclass. I don't really have to say a lot about our Prime Trade Masterclass. These last 2 weeks started because almost all of our members and myself were facing a tremendous number of prime trades. Prime trades are the most reliable trades over the past 12 to 24 months. They're a collection right now of 7 trade triggers, 7 events that have been 75 to 80% reliable. That means that if you look at the last 10 events that the prime trade took place, for instance, the ADP report is a prime trade, 7 out of the last 10 were profitable. Now, I am not kidding, but the ADP report has been profitable every single month this year since January. I forget, it's either 9 or 10 in a row. And I'm almost 100% certain that qualifies for the ISM report, ISM manufacturing. I don't think that's at a stop either. And I know the grain report, which is also a prime trade, it's a quarterly trade, but it's been years since there's been a stop on that trade. Did you hear the word I just said? Years. You can trade just the prime trades. Every prime trade has its own nuances and specific settings, and we give a class on just those trades called the Prime Trades Masterclass. That class paid for itself in 1 week this week. So, I mean, I just can't say more anything else about it. It's a fantastic concept. I did not invent the concept of prime trades. One of my bosses came up with it, and once we came up with the concept, we ran with it, and it's just been a winner from day one. So, one of the things that people have been struggling with, navigating the member area on our new website. It's not hard, but people have been confused. If you're a member, the first step, and it's vital that you create an account on our new website. Our system does not automatically create your membership when you buy something. It doesn't create your membership automatically if you used to be a member and you're still a member and now we're on the new website. So folks, if you were a member a year ago and your membership renewed, you still must create a new member account on our new website. It's a password and an email address. It takes 20 seconds to a minute. Save this link when the recording is done. Go there and then tell us in an email that you created the account. That is the most important thing. If you don't tell me that you created the account, I don't have a way to enable all of the purchases that you've made so that you can use all the products that you want to use. That's why I get the email, hey, I'm not getting my reports. It's because you didn't create your account and you never told me if you did create your account, so I couldn't access your membership. So please, create an account on our website. It's easy. It takes less than a minute, no joke. And then send us an email at help@10minutetrades.com. that you set up your account, and I will enable all your access for everything that you're eligible to look at on the website. It's not hard, but it's necessary. So please do it. It's a lot to type. So you've already received this about 50 times in an email. We've sent this email, no joke, 10 times. It'll look like this. You'll get this screen. You're going to type in your email. You're going to create a password, confirm your password, create the account, and then you're going to log in at www.10minutetrades.com/login. All right? Very, very simple stuff, but it'll save you time. Bookmark the page. You know what to do once you get set up, and then it's easy to log in, and you don't have to go through some of the sales things on the website. All right? So that's how you get access. So let's take a look. Let me show you the live membership area. Okay? That's going to go blank because it's my job to show you now the member area. So I'm going to log in off the site so you don't see my credentials, and I'll show you the new website because people are very confused, and it's really simple to use. So I don't want nobody panic. The key is, if you don't know how to do anything, send me an email, help@10minutetrades.com. You know we're going to help you, and it's not a problem. So here's what it's going to look like. Go to the website, log in, and then once you log in, the website's going to look like this. If you opt in to the 10-Minute Trades report by giving us your email, you will see how to find 10-minute trades. You'll also see weekly market movers. If you click on weekly market movers, you'll be able to click it again, and you'll be able to download the weekly market mover, or you could just listen to the video that I make every week explaining and going through the weekly market movers. Now remember, the weekly market movers are the report of everything that's going to take place in the trade room that coming week. But nothing in trading is etched in stone. So you want to be aware, watch your email, and very shortly, hopefully this week, I'm going to put a new category on the website, and the new category will be announcements, changes to the schedule, things of that sort, because I don't want to email every second. It's annoying. And I would rather get into the habit, go to the website, and learn how to do the various things that are important. The quick start right now, if you're eligible, you can watch our previous quick start videos. We'll probably leave them up, but we're going to replace it with today's webinar. Today's webinar will be the new quick start, okay? People that subscribe to the trade room can click trade room link and schedule. I give you the report, the video again of the weekly market movers. You can download them again here because, you know, people can get them for free, or you could get if you're a member of our trade room, you get it. And more importantly, this is the weekly link for the trade room. It's always on the website. I should never get an email. Hey, where's the link for the trade room? I get 10 emails a week at least. I can't find the link for the trade room. Did you create your account? Okay, it's easy, but you got to do a couple of things. Make it easy for yourself. Not for me. Make it easy for yourself. If you're a JOBB software member, or let's say you just purchased the software, you'll have access to JOBB software. Click it. There's a little video on how to install JOBB for NinjaTrader 8 and the downloads for NinjaTrader 7 and NinjaTrader 8 are there, okay? And the trap trade is there as well. The trap trade is an extra strategy. It's an extra setup. That's part of our software suite. It's a reversal setup. and it's something everybody should learn how to do. So, if you buy the software, you have a special link just for you. If you're a member of the Prime Trades Masterclass, then you have all the videos are available for you to watch over and over again. Okay? And of course, the recent masterclass that just ended, all the videos have been posted already. Okay? They're already there. They get posted almost always the day of the class. We have a couple of free resources that will be expanding dramatically as time passes. Right now, our free resources are Topmost Clock and Dimension 4. It's one of the most important issues that we deal with. You must be in sync when you trade market events and appointments with the market. These are two free tools that we give everybody so that you can be in sync. If you need more help, click here, visit our support portal. We have a help desk. You don't have to create an account. You can just send us a question. We'll answer it. You'll get a little bit more personalized attention if you create an account for yourself. Right now, our website is very easy. It's pretty lean and mean. Obviously, it's going to expand greatly in the future. Okay? Vinicio, if you don't have the trade room option on your account, send me an email and I will make sure it gets enabled. Okay, but that's why we begged everybody to create their accounts and start learning how to use the new website. It's critical. If you don't do it, I'm not going to know that you're not enabled. So Vinicio, that's what you got to do. And it'll take care of the problem. And then you won't have to worry about getting your access every single week. Okay? And it's easy. That's the key. It's easy. That's our new website. Very easy to navigate. I'll go over questions later, I promise. So that's how you get access. Once you've got access, once you've decided you want to be involved with us, you've got to get started with NinjaTrader. There's no way around it. NinjaTrader is the software platform that our strategies install into. To get started with NinjaTrader, they are, just so you understand, they are a separate third-party trading platform, just like TradeStation or MultiCharts or MetaTrader. You have to get involved with them. We are not affiliated with NinjaTrader. We don't get commissions when you buy or rent their software. We are not going to teach you everything about NinjaTrader, but we are certainly going to help you with enough to know about NinjaTrader so that you can trade with us in our trade room. We use NinjaTrader because they're one of the best platforms for trading futures. Many of the big gurus use NinjaTrader. They're great for installing strategies into their software, and we built our custom software to work on top of NinjaTrader. So to download the NinjaTrader platform, www.ninjatrader.com. They have a demo with live data. They'll give you, at least as far as I know, they'll give you 2 weeks or so to practice and see if you like NinjaTrader, so you can get started without spending any money with their platform. So you go to ninjatrader.com, and let me show you quickly what you're going to do, because there are a couple of things that you must know that's important about what you do at NinjaTrader. You open a NinjaTrader account, okay? So you go to ninjatrader.com, and you're going to open an account, okay? Once you open the account with NinjaTrader, in order to get going with any company, you have to have data. You have to have a couple of things. You have to have data. So this is the NinjaTrader account. They show you their pricing, etc., etc. They have charting software. Open account, futures brokerage account. Just click on it. You could do it all online if you want to. But there's a couple of keys that you need to know. To get set up, you need to buy data. It's not expensive, but you need to have the futures contracts to trade if you're going to trade events in the market. If you want to trade gold, if you want to trade the currency futures like the Australian dollar, there's one bundle of data. It costs $21 a month, and it's called the CME bundle. So when you join up with NinjaTrader, tell them that you want the CME bundle, and you also need a clearing broker. And the clearing broker is where your money sits, and they clear the trades for you. A clearing broker is free, but they give you a choice of two of them, Phillip Capital or Dorman. I've looked carefully to see if there was any major difference between the two. I can't really see a big difference between the two. We happen to use Dorman. I know many people using Phillips. It's Phillip, not Phillips. So either one of them will work fine. If you're an overseas person and you're not in the USA, double check with NinjaTrader brokerage if there's any difference for international people. That might be one difference between the two that I would check on if I were you. The broker, if you have never used NinjaTrader before, NinjaTrader is also the broker. They currently control their platform. They do not allow other brokers to be the broker that you trade with. So if you're an AMP customer and you don't have NinjaTrader, you still have to open an account with NinjaTrader. It's just the way it is. Okay. Now, one of our webinar folks is saying that Philip charges $4 to send a check. Dorman is free. So there are different features that the brokers have. In other words, if you want to take some of your profits out, I assume they're referring to that Philip charges you to do that. Dorman does not. Okay? So there's always various differences between the two. So 3 things that you need, or the things that you need: a NinjaTrader trading account, the platform, data, the CME bundle, and you need a clearing broker. And then one final piece to the puzzle, you need a data provider. Now, the data providers do not charge you for being a data provider, but some of them have different charges that are small for various features that they give you. The 2 major data providers that we use, that people doing what we do use, are CQG Continuum and Rhythmic. They have differences. So research the differences. CQG allows for certain indexes that Rhythmic does not have, like the Osaka index, the Hang Seng index, which is a Chinese index. You do pay extra for every index that you add. It's above and beyond the CME bundle, not required, but there's all sorts of interesting things you can do when you get involved in this type of trading. So you need a data provider, and it's going to be more often than not CQG or Rhythmic. And when you sign up with NinjaTrader to get your brokerage account, they will help you make that choice. It's all done within the sign up at the brokerage. You'll get your credentials in an email, your login and your password. It's very easy. It's not scary. Anyone can do it. So don't let the setup process stop you from becoming a trader. It's not a big deal, I promise. That's how you get started with NinjaTrader. I will answer any further questions down the road. Now, you can use Kinetic, George. I'm not saying that Kinetic, there's anything good, bad, or indifferent about Kinetic, but you don't have to use them. You can if you want. Most people are using, because they're very reasonably priced, CQG or Rhythmic. Now, let's get started and get into the brass tacks of why we're here. 10-minute trades. The weekly market movers. That's the first step to becoming a 10-minute trader. How do you read the weekly market mover report? That's been an area of confusion for people. We've changed everything, and we feel we've changed it for the better, but there is a little bit of confusion on the weekly market mover report. So let me go over it for you. Let me show you our most recent report, which we just finished today. We're just finishing it. This is our weekly market mover report from this week. I'll start at the bottom. At the bottom, there's a legend, okay? And the legend notates whether or not a trade is a prime trade or not. The WASD report is a prime trade. We traded it yesterday. I know you're dying to see that trade, and I'm dying to show it to you. So why don't I show you the WASD report just for fun, just to give us a break here, because it was awesome. Also, this was yesterday's WASD report. What's a WASD, I know you're asking? The WASD report is a grain report. It did something yesterday that scared people from trading it, but it didn't scare me because I've studied this report and I know that the WASD report tries to scare us out of the trade. Watch this move before the news was released. It looked like the news came out early. Holy crow. That was a big move. Normally, that would be a warning, maybe, to cancel the trade. But I have seen the WASD report try to scare me out of trades almost on a monthly basis. So I kept my nose to the grindstone and I traded the report. And when it was over, in a matter of 9 seconds, I made almost $500. I did not let the WASD scare me. Our members sent me their profit pictures. One member made $150. Another member made $260. Another member made $687. Another member, the king of 10-minute trades, Enrico from New Jersey, made almost $1,500 on the WASD report. It was a great trade yesterday, and it tried to scare us out of it, and you don't want to be scared out of the trades. The weekly market mover is the replacement for the HIRA. George, it's much more sophisticated. It's significantly better, okay? We've improved them and made them full of more information. So you've got a schedule. The asterisk tells you when the trade room opens. So if you go to the top, say Tuesday, the core PPI report, let's analyze this particular line. You've got the event that's going to take place in the market, core PPI. You have the instrument, you're going to trade it with gold. The event takes place at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and the trade room opens at 8 o'clock because it's got an asterisk next to the 8 o'clock time. That's how you read it. And we list the risk as well. Okay? If it's a prime trade, we put our little prime trade icon next to the trade. If we're watching the report and not trading it and don't have a trade room, then you will not see an asterisk. For instance, this British report yesterday, it was at 4:30 in the morning. I did not get up to trade that report. It's an official report, but we did not have a trade room for it. You can tell if something is not an official report, and an official report gets a daily market mover pre-trade report the day before. If it's not an official report, it's usually in orange, and that means it's something we're just watching. It's in orange and it's in italics, okay? Any report that's in just italics will not have a daily market mover. Now, this week we had very few trades. We didn't have any, actually, in italics, because all of our trades were either official trades or there were trades we were just watching. But say on a previous week, you might have a trade in italics. Let me show you so you can see what I'm talking about. For instance, Chinese manufacturing, non-manufacturing PMI. You could see it's in italics. You could see that there's a trade room because there's a time with an asterisk. But because it's in italics, that means it's probably one of my personal trades, and there will not be a daily market mover report for it. It's just the way we work, that there are certain trades that don't get reports, and there's a variety of reasons why they might not. They might be trades that only recently are coming into their own, or it might be a trade that we really think is almost due to get a daily market report, and we're testing it, but we're testing it live. There could be a variety of reasons, but the legend will tell you whether or not a trade is going to have a report. If it's in italics, there's no report. If it's orange, there's no trade room. It's a watch trade only. And if it's purple, it's a trap trade. Okay? If there's an asterisk with a time, that's the time the trade room starts. You'll get used to it. It's not that complicated. Most of the time, we're going to have a trade room for a weekly market mover because that's the whole point. It's moving the market. It's on the report. More often than not, there's going to be a trade room. Okay? That's how you read the weekly market movers. What defines the risk level? Josh, I guess what defines a risk level is how much the report, how volatile the report is, what the odds of it being successful are, what the maximum times that it hasn't been successful, how much it moves. There's a lot of things that define risk. A very, very volatile report by nature is going to be considered more risky. Even if it's successful, if it's very volatile, there's going to be more risk because the stop might be larger. And risk is subjective also, Josh. So something that you might consider ultra risky, I might not. So weekly market movers allow us to find the appointment-based trades. So how do you find an appointment-based trade? That's the key to what we do. How to find appointment-based trades. We use 3 primary economic calendars, and that's always changing. I think, if anything, we're using more. But we use these economic calendars because they show the trade triggers that we want to trade, okay? Forex Factory is probably the granddaddy of them all. www.forexfactory.com. Forex Factory has been the major report that we use, the major calendar. If you look at Forex Factory, it has so much information just on the main screen. Make sure you're on calendar. Up top, you choose calendar. You can choose the date just by clicking on the date. Okay, you can easily go through the dates and see what's happening each week or what happened the previous week. They use a color code for the impact of the report. The red means it's more impactful. Orange is a little bit less impactful. And yellow, in theory, is not impactful. But take it with a grain of salt because for some reason, the natural gas storage report gets a yellow. That, my friends, is a very impactful report, and it should be a red, okay? So you want to keep in mind, always use your head, always think outside of the box, always double check, treat trading as a business, don't make mistakes that can be avoided, and always do your research. I can't stress that more, okay? Ask questions, and the questions will get answered. There's a column here called Detail. You can click the detail, and it'll give you information about the trade. It'll give you the history, previous trades, previous dates that particular event took place, what the results were, and information about that event. Sometimes on Forex Factory, you'll see a little star. I don't see any right now. I saw some before. Let me see if I can find you one. See this little star? If you click it and there's a star, it'll usually give you an alert, a special alert, like maybe the news came out early that month, or maybe, like it says here, banks in some states don't observe the holiday and will be open. If you see a star, make sure you click on it. It'll give you extra information about the event that you're trading. Forex Factory, it lists the time, it lists the weeks. In other words, I can use Forex Factory to create my schedule for next week or to help me create the schedule. Monday, I know for a fact that Monday is Columbus Day. It'll probably be a very slow trading day or a slower than normal trading day. It's a Canadian bank holiday. It's a U.S. bank holiday this coming Monday. Not a lot of trading going on, not a lot of reports, but you can't just count on one calendar for all the events. I use multiple calendars. So Forex Factory, forexfactory.com is the first calendar that I use. Investing.com is a wonderful calendar. I absolutely love it. Sometimes I can't stand it because they drive me crazy with their advertising. They've been doing some things lately that's been driving us a little bit crazy with ads. On investing.com, you go to news, you go to economic calendar, and then you can scroll down and you can see the various reports, events that you might want to make an appointment in the market. They use bulls. If it's 3 bulls, it's very impactful. If it's 1 bull, it's less impactful. If it's 2 bulls, then it's more impactful. Okay, it's somewhere in the middle. So those bulls, those color codings give you an idea of events that you might want to test for market movement in your trading. Those are the way that you come up, using these calendars is the way that you come up with finding events in the market that you might want to trade. So the more calendars you look at, the more events you're going to find. We also use Econoday. And Econoday has one little trick. Let me show you Econoday's trick. Okay, econoday.com. If you go to Econoday, scroll down to upcoming global announcements. If you don't scroll down, you won't see it. And don't just click on the US announcements, click on global, because we trade the world, okay? We don't want to just trade the US. We want to trade the world. We want world news. We want world events. I want to know what's going on in Switzerland sometimes. I want to know what's going on in Canada. I want to know what's going on in Germany. Okay? That can affect the market. That could create an event that we want to trade. One of our prime trades is a German report. Okay? So you just want to be aware that Econoday is a third calendar that you can use, and I can think of 10 offhand. FX Street, any of the Forex calendars apply to what we do because they're events. They're just events that move the Forex market. They move the futures market. Remember, we trade futures, but if futures move, Forex usually moves as well. Okay? And George says not too many 3 bulls in investing.com. George, I'll say this. Don't let the bulls be the judge of what you're going to trade. Just find the event and do the testing on your own. That's going to tell you what to trade. I trade many single bull trades and make a lot of money trading them. So don't forget that. The number of bulls it's somewhat important, but it's not the be all or the end all to how you're going to make your decision. Forexfactory.com, you've got color coded events. As we said, they're a guide. They're not always completely accurate. Use common sense and back testing. That's the key. Back testing the high impact events, then medium, then low impact. Pick the trades that fit your schedule and look for reports that are released at a specific time. That's the key to what we do. Okay, so we looked at Forex Factory. We looked at investing.com. Okay, we don't have to do it again. And we looked at Econoday. All right, you get color coding on Econoday. And again, back test the absolute important events that have a specific time. And also, it's pretty much common sense. You know that if an important GDP report is coming out, or if, and maybe you don't know, but now you're going to learn GDP is important, CPI is important, Consumer confidence is important. Manufacturing news is important. Retail sales is important. Okay? Any of those types of events in most countries are going to have a index that's going to be moved by those reports. And why do those reports work? Why does the natural gas storage report move the market almost every single week? Why do we have a trade room for that report almost every single week? Because every Thursday at exactly 10:30, and it's almost always exactly 10:30. I can't remember when that report was released early. It's very reliable. That report comes out and it tells us how much natural gas the US has on hand. It's numbered in billions of barrels. That number gets posted at 10:30, and we have a report set up in a daily market mover that tells us exactly what we're going to do when that report comes out. It tells us exactly how we might consider trading that report. So that's why these reports work. The key, the key to understanding and being able to succeed in this method is experience and backtesting. And I'm going to show you how to do it, George, so you don't have to worry about that. We have tracked and backtested dozens and dozens and dozens of news events, market appointments, and we know which events move the market. And we're always finding new ones. And that's why the trade room is so important. If you don't come into the trade room, you're not going to know the new reports that we have found that are moving the market. And you're not going to know the right index to trade on them. Okay? Some reports move an index, some reports move a stock, some reports move multiple indexes. But the key is almost every event that we take part in takes 10 minutes or less. And in fact, most of them take seconds. Okay? You heard me. Seconds. An event happens, the news, the earnings, the market open, the end of the day, the market moves, and you're in and out of the trade very quickly. That's what we do. So find the trades that fit your schedule. Okay? And George, I think your name is pronounced George, so that's what I'm going to say. You do have to do the hard work. Yes, we do a lot of the testing. And yes, we tell you how the reports have been behaving. But I promise you, if you learn how to backtest and do your own testing, you will be a more successful trader because you won't need me. Ultimately, if you can find your own fish, you're a better fisherman, right? Isn't that the cliche? Well, it's really true. So take our best appointments from the weekly market mover report, but we haven't tested everything out there. Take a couple of hours each week. Find some additional trade triggers that are not on our list. They fit your schedule. Backtest them in Sim to see how much potential they have, and let us know when you find a winner. Maybe we'll make your trade our trade, and then we'll test it like crazy. So now let's talk about the daily market mover, the report that you get the day before the event takes place in the trade room. My favorite daily market mover, I'll show you how to read the report, okay? My favorite daily market mover is a report that very few people don't even know about. It's the API report, okay? It's a trade, it's an oil trade, a lot like the Wednesday oil trade, but it takes place every Tuesday at 4:30. And we found a specific method to trade it. So we released a daily market mover report for this trade. The title of the report is listed on the daily market mover. It's the API weekly crude oil stock report. It has a risk of 3. It's considered a reasonably risky trade. The current report is trading the current oil contract. Specifically, it's CL1119 on your chart. The trade event takes place at 4:30 p.m. That's when the news is released, 1:30 Pacific time. There is usually no forecast for this news. It makes it a trickier report to trade. We also list movement that this event has had over the past up to 18 months. There was a minimum move in October of 11 ticks. There was a maximum move in December of 50 ticks on this report. We also have the last 20 trade results, okay? The last 20. But that's not the most important thing on this report. The most important line on this report is the yellow line. It's the way that I trade the report. It's the way that you can watch me do what we do in the trade room. I have a recommended bracket that I use. I have an activation time. That's the time that I enter the trade. I have a cancellation, although on the API report, I will tell you this, I don't cancel the report except in unusually rare conditions. And then we also have now started to release targets that I might use in a trade and the stop. We've also added a mini journal to the report that has the last 6 trades and what happened during those trades. The API report, as you can see, has been trading quite well lately. Okay? It's had quite a few winners as opposed to losers over the last 6 reports. Now, I did something special on this report. I explained very specifically how to trade it, how I trade it, not how you should trade it, how I trade it. So you could watch me and understand the thinking that I'm doing when I trade the API report. That's the new daily market mover. That's how you read it. It's very easy, but it's filled with tremendously useful information, and it comes out the day before a trade. Okay? A 19 tick stop loss, yes, it means that your risk is $190 per contract on this trade. Some people don't like a 19 tick stop, but if I told you that having a 19 tick stop will prevent you from having stop outs or prevent you from having more stop outs than if you used a 10 tick stop, wouldn't you want to use the bigger stop? People make very foolish decisions, and there are certain things that you can do that can shoot yourself in the foot. One of the things I see people do all the time is they think to themselves, I'm going to make the stop really small. That's going to mean if I get stopped out, I'll lose very little money. But sometimes, I will tell you this, making a stop too small actually will increase your risk because it'll increase your odds of being stopped out. What if it's a report that just happens to move up and down before it goes in the direction you want it to go to? If your stop is big enough to survive the up and down movement, you won't get stopped out. But if you're being ultra conservative and careless without doing the research, you might make that stop so small that it stops you out when it makes the up and down move, and you won't get to take advantage of the winning trade. So pay attention, do your own testing, make the stop the right size. It's a critical piece of information. Now let's talk about the inner circle, or what I like to call the trade room. The trade room probably is one of my favorite places in the world. How do you join the trade room? How do you get there? It's not how do you join it. It's easy to join it. Just go to our website and sign up for the trade room. But in order to get into the trade room, you have to go to our website, or you've got to get an email that has the link. We have a trade room that's open many, many times all through the week. Right? Now remember, you can log into our website, and if you're a trade room member, When you log into the website, you're going to see Trade Room. You're going to click it, and in that area is going to be the Trade Room access link. And that's going to allow you to click on it. It'll show you the schedule. You'll scroll down, and it will let you log in and register for all the trade rooms that week. One registration, one link. That's how you join the trade room. Not very complicated. Okay? So you should not be emailing me anymore that you don't know what the trade room link is anymore, right? JOBB software. We like to think of it as our secret weapon. It's not secret weapon. It's not a secret. We're telling you, if you use our software, it's going to make trading these events easier. But I'm not going to penalize you. How many rooms have you been in where if you didn't buy their software, they charged you more to use their trade room? We do not do that. We are trader friendly. And if you think we're not, just ask me for an extra computer to put the software on. I don't charge you to do it. And believe me, it takes time, it takes effort. It's not, a 1-second job to update somebody's machine ID and get them set up for another computer. I've been a member of other trade rooms where they charge me $20 if I add another computer. I personally think that's outrageous. And they call themselves trader friendly. We are trader friendly. We let you put your software on multiple machines. We know that people have multiple machines in this day and age. I lay in bed at 4:30 in the morning and I trade my laptop on some of the British reports. I want my software enabled on that computer, and I know you do too. So let's be real, folks. I am you and you are me, and that's why people love us. Our software works on Ninja 7 and Ninja 8. But why do we recommend NinjaTrader 8? NinjaTrader 8 is faster than NinjaTrader 7. It's newer technology now. It's being upgraded probably more often than NinjaTrader 7. I highly recommend that if you're not on NinjaTrader 8 now, start getting on it as fast as you can. But don't stop using NinjaTrader 7 because it has one super important purpose. I like NinjaTrader 7 better for backtesting, okay? So let's say you're a software member. The first step you've got to do is email me your machine ID. It's in the control panel of NinjaTrader. When you load your NinjaTrader, now I can't show you my machine ID because it will show you my license, and I'm not set up for a SIM account. I'm a real trader. I have a real account, but I'll show you where it is. When you click on help, it'll show you what your machine ID is, and then you can send it to me, okay? When you send me your machine ID, I can activate your software. Fair enough? Very, very simple. Give us 24 hours to activate your software. More often than not, it doesn't take that long, but that's the deal. All right? Send me your machine ID. How do you install the software? Do I really have to go over that? Well, yes. We're going to do all of that. Real quick, but I'm doing it. And then how do you start the software on your chart? So let's assume you're a brand new NinjaTrader person. And this is what NinjaTrader looks like. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to download our software. Now, remember, you're going to go to our website, right? Go to my website. Go to 10minutetrades.com. Log into the website. If you've paid for the software, you're going to see something called JOBB software, and you're going to be able to download it. You're also going to be able to watch a movie that's going to show you how to install it on NinjaTrader 8. It's almost exactly the same on NinjaTrader 7. There's a couple of minor differences, but if you're able to trade, you will be able to figure out the differences between them. And if you can't, I do have a video that shows you how to install it with NinjaTrader 7. It's not complicated. Okay? So download the software, put it on your desktop. Then when you go to install it on NinjaTrader 8, you're going to go to Tools. You don't open our software. You're going to import it. It's called a NinjaScript add-on. You're going to find the file because it's going to give you a list of files. And whatever file you download it happens to be called NT8. I'll show you what it's called. The file is called JOBB NT8 version 8.3. You click on it, and I'm not going to reinstall it, but it's going to ask you if you want to install it, and you just say yes. Anytime you get a question that says the file you're trying to install is newer than the file that's on your computer, answer yes to the question. Always put the newer file on your computer. If you get a question where it says the file is already on your computer, then you don't have to bother putting it on there again. But if it's newer, take the newer file. So you install the software just by going Tools, Import, NinjaScript add-on, find the file that you downloaded, click on Open, and it will start the install automatically. After the software is installed, create a chart by going to New, go to Chart. Let's create a gold chart. My instruments are loaded, GC 1219. It's a minute chart based on the type of chart. Now, a lot of things are default. Okay? In other words, when you create a chart in NinjaTrader, whatever the default is, you can just go with it. You don't have to go crazy trying to figure out what everything means. Just okay the chart, okay? We tell you how to use your charts and how to set them up and what to do with them, so you don't have to worry. So let's say you've now created a chart to trade with in NinjaTrader. How do you add an instrument to NinjaTrader 8? You go to Tools, Instrument Lists, and I have every instrument listed, but you're not going to have them listed. If you go to Futures on the left, it'll put it in the Futures folder. And then if you go to Add, you might have to do a little bit of research if you're a beginner so that you understand what it means to add a contract. But for instance, gold, right now, the contract name is GC 1219. So let's say I want to add February's contract. So I would do GC 0220. And I would hit enter. And now I've added the gold contract for February 2020. If I want to add the Australian dollar. Now, there are lists of futures contracts. Make Google your best friend, okay? Make Google your best friend. Type in futures contracts, and it will list them, okay? And just come into the trade room. We'll tell you what the contracts are. I know that the Australian dollar is 6A. The current contract is 12.19. It's already added, so I'm going to get an error if I try to add that. So let's go and add February. 6A is the Australian dollar. February is 2020. Hit enter. And if you're wrong, it'll tell you, okay? 6A. And even I make mistakes. I'm not perfect because they have to use 03/2020. It's a different month. That's the error I made. Certain contracts trade in different times, and I'll explain what I mean. Okay? Let me explain what I mean. If you Google, and again, if you make Google your best friend, it's a trader's best friend. If you type in futures, contracts, specs, futures, contract specs, learn about contract specifications. Okay, these are things that you can do. And you'll read about it, you'll learn about contracts, but there's a certain page that I want you to find. So I want you to do it even more specifically. Let's do corn futures contracts, okay? Let's do corn. Let's say you're going to trade corn. You have a grain report. This is the key to what I'm looking for. Corn futures contract specs CME group. It brings up this beautiful page. It tells you the trading hours. It tells you the code of the product, ZC. Okay, that's how I get the 6A for the Australian dollar. It's the product code. But what's very important, it shows you the months that the contract trades. So it tells you that corn trades March 03, May 05, September 09. So corn, it's ZC if you're going to trade March 03, and the year is 2020 because March hasn't come yet. So you can add March corn. Go to put it in the futures folder, click on add. Remember it was ZC March 20. That's the format. Now that instrument already exists because I already created it, but trust me, that adds March 2020 into your platform, okay? And you'll learn to do this in the trade room. We want you to come into the trade room. So you know how to install our software. You go to Tools, Import, NinjaScript to the file that you downloaded, and the software gets loaded into NinjaTrader. How do you get the software onto the charts? So then I showed you how to create a new chart, okay? I went to New, I went to Chart, I added an instrument. It'll go through any of the instruments that you have loaded. NinjaTrader, when you purchase it, has some contracts loaded in. One of the contracts that it will have loaded in is the ES. The ES is the mini S&P. So under futures, it'll have ES 1219. If you OK it, it will create a chart for ES 1219. There's my chart. I don't need that one, so I can exit out. Now I've got a control panel and a chart, and I'm almost ready to start manipulating our software. It's not hard. And these are things that we will help you with. If you have a problem, there are dozens of videos on the web about how to set up NinjaTrader. But basically, you're going to go to New, create a chart, and then how do you get our software on your chart? It's really pretty easy. Right-click the chart, click on Strategy. Our software is at the top of available strategies. Double-click it. It'll show up under Configured. And now all of these items that you see here are potential items you can adjust. Many of them are default, and you're not even going to bother with them. We teach you which ones to adjust. Again, Think of our software like a giant ATM. So let's put a trade on, okay? Let's take a DMM and let's put a trade on. That's the best way for me to show you how to do this. We'll start from scratch. Let me get my favorite DMM, which is the API report. I'll shrink it a little bit so we can see it. I want to see the yellow line, right? So there we go. There's my DMM. Here's my chart. I'm going to take the data from this line here, the yellow line, and I'm going to input it into my strategy. Right-click the chart, click on strategy, double-click JOBBV8. This is being recorded. First thing I do is I go from top to bottom. I'm going to click off the zones. We're not doing a zone trade. We're doing a breakout trade, and I'll explain what I mean by that. The first thing I adjust is the bracket distance. The bracket distance is 11. It's not a range trade, so just skip through all of these. You don't have to do anything with them. We don't have to adjust them at all. How many contracts do you want to trade? I'm just going to trade 2 right now for the API report because I have 2 targets. Position 1 is target 1. Position 2 is target 2. 2 contracts. Profit target 1, it says 7. So I can use that. It's a guide, but I could use it. Target number 2 is 29. Profit target 2, 29. My stop is 19 ticks. Scroll down a little bit. Stop loss ticks. Make it 19. Cancel if fill is 30 seconds. That you could automate it, or you could just keep it in your head that you're going to cancel the trade. I already said I don't usually cancel this trade because sometimes the news comes out slowly. It's just something I know, and it's something we discuss in the trade room. If you wanted to cancel the trade and you wanted to use the 30-second cancel, the trade activates exactly at 4:30, 16:30. So make sure that your entry time relates to the activation time. It's the same thing. Entry time, activate, 16:30. The reason it has X's is if you live in a different time zone. You might not be 16. We do use military time because otherwise software doesn't know what time it is. We have different setups built into our software. We have breakout trades. We have range trades, which are based on time. We have the one-click range trade using zones instead of time. And we have just a standard range trade. And we have the trap trade. But don't let it scare you. All these are setups that we teach you how to use. They're easy. They're not complicated. And you're just filling in numbers. You're not having to learn any kind of crazy language that doesn't make any sense. We're going to explain exactly what the numbers mean and why and when you would fill them in. Think of our software just like a super automated trade management program, ATM. But you don't have to learn a confusing, convoluted language. You just type the numbers in that we can help you to learn what to type in. So, if you realize that on this trade, I'm already set up and I only entered about 4 or 5 different things. I entered the bracket, which is important. That's the area above or below the current price in the market that the trade is going to enter in. And let me show you what I mean by a bracket. It's a very simple concept. If you look at these candles in the middle here, where these lines are, that's the current price of the market. You have a bracket up top where the first X is. You have a bracket at the bottom. The distance between the current candle, the current market price, below or above, we use 11. So it's called ticks, 11 ticks. If the market moves 11 ticks in either direction, it will take us into a trade, and it will then also use our stop. If the market goes in our favor 7 ticks, it'll give us 7 ticks of profit. That's our first target. If it goes 20 ticks, it'll give us 20 ticks of profit. That's our second target. If it goes against us 19 ticks, it'll exit the trade as a losing trade. Our software has the ability to do almost everything automated. Sometimes your exit will be handled by you. All of the entries are automatic. You never have to fumble around on a report or at an event worrying where your targets are going to be placed, and you never have to worry about where your stop is going to be placed. It's automatic. So after you enter the numbers in that we recommend, you apply the trade, you okay it, and then up in the corner, what'll show up is the trade. You want to be on strategies in NinjaTrader. You enable it. Now, I'm not going to enable it because the trade, you know what? I can enable it. It's not 4:30 yet, so it won't fire. It won't actually try to trade. You'll get an icon on the chart that tells you your strategy is activated and ready to trade. And it's just waiting for the time of the trade, which is 4:30 p.m., 16:30. So it's not going to do anything until the trade comes up. Now, your instrument would also be oil because it's an oil trade, but the concept is exactly the same. Our software is automatic. And yes, you do set the account, and we go over all the settings in the trade room. We go through the whole list. You want to set up your account. If you're trading in sim, it'll say sim. If you have a live account, it'll give you a choice of your live account. But you don't have to adjust exit on session close and bars required to trade. Most of these items are default, and you just leave them alone. It's the important ones that you come to learn what needs to be adjusted in the various trades. Now, I did say that we have different types of setups. We do have different setups. We have something called a range trade, where you could trade, let's say you like to trade time. If you like to trade time, meaning if you like to trade the open from 9:30 in the morning, so you have a range start time at 9:30 in the morning, so you would type in the start time, 9:30, and it's easy to do, and it could be 59. It's not the end of the world. 9:30, and let's say your trade starts at 10. So your entry time is going to be 10. Okay, entry time, 10 o'clock. Our software has the ability to do a couple of different types of range trades. So you click on the entry type, and it says range trade. A couple of things you need to do. You have to remember under range trade to show your graphics. So you click show graphics on chart. You then have to decide, let's say it draws a range. How many ticks above the range do I want to enter the trade? Or how many ticks below the range do I want to enter the trade? So for instance, I have 3 ticks set. So let's see if I did this right. If I enable the trade,
Order submitted.
normally what will happen is, I don't want this to shoot
Order
off.
canceled.
I want it to show the graphics. Okay, it normally, if I did it properly, will show the graphics in a range trade. So bear with me. You want to disable a trade so that you see the graphics and so that you can adjust your strategy. Zone area, graphics shown on chart. I want to make sure I set everything properly, 9:30 to 10. It just may be because the time I'm dealing with has already passed and we're not seeing it. That's what I believe is actually happening. So I okay it.
Order
Let me
submitted.
see if I'm going to move this up because I don't want to be taken into the trade. And I'm going to scroll back. And there's my range. It's a little bit hard to see, but you could see it. My software created a range. The reason we didn't see it originally is because it was between 9:30 and 10. Now you do have the ability
Order
to
canceled.
change the color of your range so you can see it better. That slate blue was a little bit hard to see. So I could say create magenta in my range color, enable it,
Order
and see how
submitted.
it's easier to see. So you're going to trade. It shows you your entry above the range. It shows you your entry below the range. The other
Order
setups
canceled.
that are built into our software, instead of using a time range, we use zones, okay? And those are specialized zones that we wrote. And that setup is called the one-click range trade with colored zones. It's basically a similar concept. Instead of using time, the entry type, instead of range trade, is one-click range trade with colored zones. Then you want to make sure that your zone area is checked. Your range trade area does not need to be checked. Apply. Okay, let's see if I did it right. Will the zones show up? They sure do. Now, ticks above the zone, ticks below the zone, that's when the trade will enter. But nothing happens until I tell the trade to start to calculate. One click range trade
Order
entry puts my
submitted.
orders in. If the price is above the zone, it uses the high plus the ticks above and below. Now, I don't want to confuse people. This is
Order
trading
canceled.
that you learn in the room. The key is you could also get into the market immediately with the long and short buttons so you can trade discretionary also. The point is our software has multiple zones. Valerie, range trades, they vary. They go through different times. Most of the trades that you've seen in the trade room currently, the prime trades are breakout trades. It's just the nature of what you've seen at this particular time. We don't have a lot of range trades, but a lot of traders like to use ranges, and that's why we put it in the software. So it's not so much whether or not you've seen them and that we've used tons of them. The point is the choice is there so you can use it in the software. The point is that our software can be used for specific types of events, or it can also be used discretionary because when you enable a one click range trade or when you enable a range trade, it has a button that puts you in the market using the stops and the targets that are built into our software. No, you still need the zone indicator. We'll have trades where we'll use zones. So I would say the zone indicator is built into the software, Josh, anyway. You don't need to install it. It's built into NinjaTrader 8. And that's another reason why we like to use NinjaTrader 8. It has more things built in. So we go over all the software settings. Every trade has different settings. You can set up a trade without the DMM, right? I just showed you how to set up a trade with the DMM. To set up a trade without the DMM is no different than what we just did. If you're going to set up a trade, right now it's 135, right? So let's say you wanted to set up a one-click range trade, okay? Let's say we wanted to set up a one-click range trade for 140. So how would you do that? You would click the strategy, double-click the strategy. If I'm going to use the range trade, I have 3 ticks above the range, 3 ticks below the range. I'm going to show the range. And I'm going to start the range drawing. Let's say I start the range drawing at 132. because I want you to see it. That's why I'm starting it at 132. Let's say 130. I'm going to enter the trade, time entry, at 140. Now, I'm not going to wait until 140. I'm just going to show you how you would do it. 140. The one thing you have to remember, choose one-click range trade. Okay? Now, it's going to use my target. Let's say my target is 10 ticks and 20 ticks. 2 contracts, 1 position on each. And my stop is 15 ticks. So it's going to use that. Instead of writing an ATM, I just fill in the numbers. So it's going to start drawing the range at 130. I put the range on. I'm going to change the color so it's obvious. I'm going to apply the trade. I make sure it says one-click range trade. Apply the trade and enable the trade. There's my range. Okay? Now, if I wanted to trade this as a discretionary trade, if I knew like the FOMC was talking and that their talking was going to make this market break out of this range, I could click one-click range trade entry, and my entries would be 3 ticks above the market, 3 ticks below the market. I'm just moving it so I don't get filled. I could also
order canceled.
Enter the market at my will using the stops and the targets that are in the market. If I click the long button, it's going to put me in the market long at the market. But it's going to use all my setups, my stop and my targets, just like an ATM, to handle the trade, okay? The weekly market mover tells you what type of trade it is, Valerie. The weekly market mover. Does the DMM, that'd be a nice thing to add to the DMM, in all honesty. I don't think the DMM says the type of trade, but it's all a question of room, Valerie, and we put it on the daily, so it's not on the DMM, okay? But you can tell, once you get experience, you know that there's only one bracket. There's no tiers, which we call a trap trade, a tier trade. So you can tell by looking at the DMM almost always what kind of trade it is. But one of the big things we do is create ranges, or that we know traders like to do. We get emails all the time from our traders that they're creating ranges and they have a great trade they want us to test. So sometimes ranges work great. Okay? So you can use the DMM to set up a trade, or you could set up the trade by itself. If you trade live or sim, that strictly depends on whether or not the report's been behaving well. If a report's behaving well, then we'll trade it live. If a report is not behaving well, then we may not trade it live. Now, this is the last big subject that I want to cover, and I want to cover it without rushing, because I think this is the most important feature that I'm going to cover in this webinar. How do you test a trade? How do you know that a trade is going to work? Now, remember what we said. I like NinjaTrader 7 for back testing and testing trades. It's easier, it's quicker, and it's more sensible. And that's why I like it. So this category is called back testing and how to test a trade using NinjaTrader 7. So when you set up NinjaTrader, it's just like setting up NinjaTrader 8 when you set up 7. If you have it set up properly, you'll see the prices, okay? You'll be connected to data. If you don't see price on a chart and you see that little F on the chart, click it. And it should put your prices on the chart. Okay, so this is actually the real oil market right now. Let's say, for whatever reason, you missed the trade room on Wednesday's API report. you missed the trade room. So the first step to backtesting is downloading the data for the trade you want to backtest. So you go to File, you go to Utilities, you go to Download Replay Data. We know that the name of the contract right now that we're trading in oil, and if you don't know what it is, just send us an email and ask, or come into the trade room and ask. But we know that the current oil contract is CL 1119. So I go to CL 1119 and I click on it. I also look up last Tuesday's date, and last Tuesday was the 8th, and I can download level 1 data or level 1 and level 2 data. If you want to see the liquidity, then download both. If you really don't care that much about the liquidity in your test and you just want to see what the trade did, it's a little quicker to just download the L1 data, and you can do that. So I'm going to download the L1 data for last Tuesday's API trade. It'll download the oil data for the whole day. Over on the right, you'll see a little sign that says downloading data. You have to be connected to a live data feed to download data. Okay, so I was connected to my normal JOBB live data connection. When I load my NinjaTrader, it automatically does that for me. In order to use replay, you disconnect your live data feed and you connect market replay. Okay, and it gives you this little tape recorder control panel. All right. Then make sure that your chart is on the instrument you want replay to test. So we're testing the oil contract from CL 1119. I'm pressing that little F button because my data didn't show up. Okay. So I'm getting ready to do the replay. Now you notice that there's this date column. What date did we say Wednesday was? We said it was the 8th, right? So 10 stays the same, but this 10 has to turn to an 8. So you can hover over it and then just press the 8 button. And then do it again on this side, and we're 10/8/2019. Make sure it matches. Make sure it matches. Then in this blank area, right-click, click on Go To, and make sure this date also says 10/8/2019, and put the time of the trade in for. Now, if you did it wrong, go back and fix it. It's 4. It doesn't use military time in their market replay. It's just the way it is. 4:29, and give yourself a couple of seconds before the report. Remember, it's a 4:30 report. So put in 4:29:54. Give yourself 6 seconds before the report, and make sure you're PM because it's a PM trade. Okay it. Give it a second. It now puts on the oil market at the time you're getting ready to test the trade. Okay? How do you know? How do you know you did it properly? If you look at the bottom, you'll see times are listed. If the time is very close to the time of the trade that you're testing, you've downloaded it properly. Okay? If that just had a date and a random time that made no sense, re-download the data. You have to disconnect, but you don't have to connect live. You're allowed to download market replay data whether you're connected live or whether you're disconnected. You just cannot be connected to market replay to download replay data. So remember, we put the dates in, and then we clicked go to, and we put the date in and the time of the current trade. We gave it a couple of seconds, and now you're just ready to set up your trade just like it's live. Make believe it's the exact time of day that the trade is taking place. NinjaTrader 7, you right click the chart, click on strategy, double click the name of our strategy, JOBBV8. It's almost the same as NinjaTrader 8. You have all the same fields. You're going to go down to bracket distance. Remember, that was 11 on the DMM. If you need the DMM, you can call it up to help you, right? You can always look at it if you need it. I mean, I don't personally need it because I've traded this trade a million times. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know where I put the darn thing. So let's trust me. All right. I know the DMM and I don't see it. So make believe the DMM is right there. It's an 11 tick bracket. The time of the trade is 16:30, right? Remember the activation time, 16:30. The entry type is a breakout trade. Choose breakout. And I had a target of 7 ticks, and my target 2 was 29 ticks, and my stop was 19 ticks. That's what was on the DMM. That's all I have to fill out. Make sure you just have one position for each. Make sure your account's on replay. Now I have to enable the trade. Double click it. Apply. Okay. See it up here? It's checked, enabled. I have an icon telling me that my strategy's enabled. I press play and watch. The trade's going to make believe it's taking place. At 4:30, there's my orders. And whatever would have happened on that trade is probably going to happen on this one. It filled me short. It happened so fast you barely see it. And this trade last week happened not to work. For whatever reason, it didn't work. I did not trade this report live because I was waiting. I know the API report, and I have certain methods I use for when I trade it live. And last week was not one of my live trades, and I did not get stopped out on that trade. But that's how you use replay. Now, this is recorded, okay? So I don't expect you to remember it all, but it's recorded, and that's the important thing. I don't use market replay in NinjaTrader 8 because it takes so much time, way too much time. It makes you go through every trade from the beginning of the day, and that just is a waste of time. Replay and backtesting are the same thing. And that's how you use market replay, and I highly recommend that you use NinjaTrader 7 to do it. Again, why we recommend NinjaTrader 8, it's faster, it's multi-threaded, and we've gone over JOBB software, installing the software. It's easy. I'll go over it one more time for you. And in fact, why don't I do this? Why don't I show our NinjaTrader 7 owners what you would do to install it in NinjaTrader 7? How about that? So load your NinjaTrader 7. Takes a second. NinjaTrader 7 comes up with your charts. Remember, if you don't see your data, just click F. Always make sure you have the right chart installed, the right contract. To install a strategy in NinjaTrader 7, you go to Tools. Forgive me, you go to File, and you go to Utilities, Import NinjaScript. To install a strategy in NinjaTrader 7, go to File, Utilities, Import NinjaScript. You don't open the files. And then just look for where you put it on your desktop after you've downloaded it, right? Find it on your desktop. I know where mine is, so you'll know where yours is, okay? Find the file, highlight it, and open it. And then it will install it into your NinjaTrader 7. And then to get a strategy onto the chart with NinjaTrader 7, you actually need two charts with NinjaTrader 7. The chart on the right is the indicator adjustment or the strategy adjustment chart. The chart on the left is the trading chart. So you right click the right chart, click on strategies, double click on the name of our strategy, slide it up, and now you have all of the items that you might want to adjust to make a strategy work, okay? Entry time, entry type, most often it's a breakout trade. Profit targets, how many positions you're going to trade and how many contracts you'll use. You're really only adjusting 5 to 8 items for every trade. It's easy. We tell you what to do. We teach you how to do it. Anything initially looks a little bit scary when you first do it, but it's really not hard. It just takes practice. I've gone through all of these features extensively. How do you add an indicator? Let me show you one very important thing that I think is critical. What do I put on all my charts to trade with NinjaTrader 8 or 7? There are things that are built in to NinjaTrader that I use that everybody can use, and they're simple and easy, and I love them for setting up my charts. So it's called adding indicators. It's easy. Give me a second because I've got everything moved over. Let me get the chart that I want just to save some time. Here we go. So on my charts, I install certain indicators on every single new chart, okay? So the first step to install an indicator is, let's say you just created a new chart. You went to New, you went to Chart, you chose gold as your chart. Sorry, give me a second. You chose gold as your chart, and that's what I'm going to use, okay? Now, what happens is when I'm showing a slide presentation, sometimes when I click something, it does what it just did. It'll take my program off. So, indicators, and I'm going to remove all my indicators and make like I have a brand new chart. So this is a blank, empty chart, just as if I created a new chart. Right-click the chart, choose indicators, and the first indicator I'm going to scroll down for, I'm going to go for current, open, high, low, and close. Current day OHL. Double-click it, apply it, and OK it. That's the first thing that I put on my chart. You might not see anything because you might not be near the high or the low. The second indicator I'm going to apply, right click the chart. I go so fast because I'm so used to it. Right click the chart, click on indicators. The second indicator I'm going to put on the chart are the pivots. Scroll down to pivots, okay it, and now we're going to have pivots. You don't always see them. Now you can sort of see them as you scroll down. When you get to an area where there are pivots, you will see them, okay? NinjaTrader pivots. I put them on all my charts. And the reason we're not seeing them is because I didn't apply it, so let's do it again. Even I make errors. Pivots, apply it, okay it. Now there they are, S2, PP, thank you. The third thing I'm going to install, right click the chart, indicators. This is all built into NinjaTrader. Nothing fancy about it. The net change display. Double click it, apply it. It's going to show me down here the net change display. Right click the chart, indicator, net change display. If I scroll down, if I don't want it to be red and I want it to be black, change the color to black. It's easier to see. It just shows you what gold is doing that day from the time of day that you chose the chart to show it. The way you choose that, right click the chart, click on data series, and I like to use instrument settings because it shows me the settings from 6 p.m. the night before. Okay, so there are 3 important things I've got on this chart, and there's 2 more simple things I'm going to do. I'm going to put 2 simple exponential indicators. So right click the chart. For indicators, I'm going to put a 21 EMA on the chart. It's called an exponential indicator. Click it. The period is 21. If I could type, I'm going to scroll down and I'm just going to click EMA. So the arrow points down. I'm going to make it black because I like my 21 to be black. That's what I'm used to. And I'm going to make it a tiny bit thicker width. I'm going to make it 2. Apply it, okay it. Now that black line is the 21. I'm going to do it one more time. Right click the chart, indicators, EMA, and everybody should know how to do this. Yes, I could send you my template. Yes, I could send you my chart, but you should know how to do this. EMA, double click it, make it 12, make it green, scroll down to green, arrow pointing down so I could scroll down more, turn my red to green, sea green is fine, make the width 2 so it's a little bit easier to see, apply it, okay it, and now my chart is ready to trade. I don't need a lot on my charts. There are a couple of other things that I do like, that I do sometimes use in the room. I love the squeeze. So I have an indicator called the squeeze. And it's called R squeeze. All right. And I look for it, I apply it, and bingo. Apply it, okay it. R squeeze is on my chart. Now, you have to have it set up in a certain way so it looks better than this. My R squeeze on this particular chart is not set up properly. However, I'll show you how to set it up in the trade room. I don't want to spend the time now setting up R squeeze because not everybody even wants to use it. There are many, many different indicators that people use to help them decide trend, volume. Right click the chart, one of the most popular indicators. Right click the chart, indicators is volume. Scroll down to VOL. And you can put volume on your chart, apply it, okay it. And that's a perfectly working trading chart for everything that we do. Okay? That's what I like to set up. That's how I like to set up my charts, whether it's NinjaTrader 7 or NinjaTrader 8. That's what I do. So that's adding indicators. Not complicated. You'll get the hang of it. You get the hang of all these things by doing it. I've shown you how to start JOBB on your chart. Right click the chart, click on strategy, bingo. I've also shown you how to do the settings. I've done this a little bit out of order. I'm going to get killed for doing this because it makes it harder to make our video. How do you choose the correct setups? You use the DMM, or you listen to us in the trade room and we talk about how big the stop is going to be, how big the targets are going to be. We've tested all of these reports and we go over them and test them non-stop. The setups that we use are the breakout setup. The breakout setup is a very simple setup where you have a bracket, like I explained before, above and below the current price. That's considered the breakout trade. The one-click range trade or the range trade, I've demonstrated before. It's when you choose for your setup, you right-click the chart for strategy, double-click on the name of the trade, the name of the strategy, the full name of the strategy, and go down to entry type, which is the setup. And let's say you take range trade with colored zones. Make sure that your zones are checked. The period that you're using is how many zones, how many bars does it look back. You're adjusting your ticks above and below the zone to help you decide to get in. Your number of contracts is position size. Your targets, when you apply it and okay it, when your control panel is showing, it will then show you the
Order
zones.
submitted.
Okay? And it will make a real trade. If you're trading in a live market, it'll really put the order on. Okay? So you need to know what you're doing. You have to pay attention. Now, it's not going to trade. I'm outside of the zone. So remember what I said. It will calculate above the zone the highs and lows. It'll calculate above the zone if the price is outside of the zone. If the price is inside of the zone and I'm 3 ticks above and 3 ticks below, it'll put my orders in a different place. But again, when you practice,
Order canceled.
you'll learn what the zone does. You'll learn where the zone places your orders, and it's just a question of practicing. And again, the trade room is the key. Come into the trade room and let us show you how to do it. So you have the breakout trade. You have the one-click range trade. We have the range trade that I just showed you with the zones. The trap trade. Now, the trap trade is a little bit less popular than it used to be, but it's a trade that we use when we think the market is going to go up and go down. The trap trade is a reversal trade. It's a low slippage trade. Let me show you what I mean. This is a Canada retail trade with some tests that I made. What a trap trade does, when you get to the point of the trade, watch what happens. I hope I loaded the right file. If not, I'll find the right file. Okay, let me get the right file. Bear with me. Okay, the proper file is loaded for Canada retail. You see this icon? That tells me that my trap trade is set up and ready to go. I'm using the current price, and I'm creating orders above that current price, and I'm creating orders below that current price, and they will show up as X's, just like this. These are my orders. I have 2 orders above the price, 2 orders below the price. The idea of the trap trade is if the market bursts up, I will sell the market. If the market bursts down, I'll buy the market. And when the market reverses, that's when I take my profit. So the trap trade moves, it fills, and then it reverses. I move my stop so I can grab a profit, and I made some money on that trap trade. Let me show it to you in real time. It's a little easier to see. So my orders are on the screen. I'm waiting patiently for the market event to be released. It might be a bank statement. It might be GDP. It might be something that we know is going to move the market. It bursts the market up and it fills both my orders short because remember, it's an opposite direction trade. The market starts to reverse. I move my stop down to grab some profit, to protect profit. And when the trade's over, I made $100. It was only in about 20 seconds. That's not bad. So the trap trade is a setup that's based on our expectation that price is going to reverse. Setting up a trade without the DMM is just as simple. The simplest way to set up a trade without the DMM is if you have a chart, and let's say this is live. You could see that our order is connected. It's gold right now at 208. Right click strategy. Double click the name of our strategy so it shows up under configured. Now, just for the sake of demonstration, make sure that I'm on one-click range trade. It could be one-click range trade with colored zones. Any one-click trade has the ability, if I apply it, okay it, and enable it, it gives me the option to enter the trade immediately with the short button or the long button. Just remember that it uses the current setup that I put in. It'll use my stops, my targets, the ability to move my stops and targets. I don't have to write an ATM. I can trade discretionary by using the buttons. I could also use the zones of the range by clicking the range entry. But if I click the short button, it'll put me right in the market using my setups that I have built into the strategy that I've typed in. A target of 20, a target of 30, 2 contracts, and a stop at 20. So I don't have to write a complicated, confusing ATM. I can trade and enter the market without a DMM, just as a regular normal trader. I've shown you multiple times how to set up a trade with the DMM. Live or sim, I've shown you multiple times. It just strictly depends on whether or not the report is behaving. How to use market replay, I showed you in NinjaTrader 7. Same thing with backtesting. The final thing is, what is the Prime Trade Masterclass? All that the Prime Trade and I shouldn't say all, the Prime Trade Masterclass is a class that goes over the incredible prime trades that we have discovered are positive and profitable more than 70% of the time. That means that when I said it all started 2 weeks ago with the grain report, the grain report is a prime trade. The odds of the grain report working were 70 to 80%. And in 10 seconds, when the grain report was over, here's my trade. Grains moved up. I made a profit of, I think it was $387. And that was $387.50 in 20 seconds. The grain trade is a prime trade. ISM manufacturing is a prime trade. 10 o'clock last week, 390 in 6 seconds. Okay? This is not unusual on the prime trades. On that trade, that's the trade that Enrico made $9,000 on that one trade. He traded 20 contracts. That's what we all strive for. If you take the prime trade class, and again, I'm not selling the class, I'm just telling you what it is. It's a class that teaches you how to trade each of the individual prime trades to try and maximize their results. One more prime trade just for fun. ISM non-manufacturing was October 3rd, 10 o'clock trade. I traded it live in the room, $400, less than 2 seconds. No joke. If you take the prime trades class, there's no reason why you can't learn to do this. And it applies to every single other trade that we trade in the room. There is no reason not to, at a minimum, be in our trade room. If you don't want to take the class, I understand that. If you don't want to spend extra money, that's perfectly okay. But be a member, come in our trade room, learn how to get your life back. You don't have to sit in front of your computer 18 hours a day looking at charts. Chantal and I laugh all day long. She's one of our favorite members. We laugh all day long about whether or not you can trade all day by watching the markets. I didn't even know what the markets did this morning, and I traded the University of Michigan. Now, it was a small winner. I only made $90 on it, but other people in my trade room, one of the members made $150, but this was the trade. I didn't know that the YM was up 350 points. I made $90 on this report, and I didn't care what the markets were doing. I don't have to spend my day watching the markets to make money. And yes, Keith, you can hang out. I'll give everybody the link for our last trade room of the day. Let me do it now, Keith, so I don't forget. Let me find the link. So every now and then the prime trades, they change. It's a skill you can keep with you for the rest of your life, and I think it's a fantastic skill to have. How do you get help from us? It's so easy. You can email us at help@10minutetrades.com. I do my best to get back to you within a few hours. Folks, it never takes 1 to 2 business days. We just say that because we have to protect ourselves. I get back to you. If I don't get back to you the same day, then I'm not doing my job. We have a help desk, okay? You can create a support ticket. Very easy. This is all recorded, all right? Go to the help desk. We'll answer you. You can create an account there with the same email you used to email us. That'll let you see your current and closed tickets. But if you don't feel like creating an account, you don't have to. All right. I don't know. I didn't cover everything, but I covered a lot. If you have questions, I'll stay. So ask me anything you want to ask me. And if there's no questions, I'll thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for coming today. This was an awesome webinar. Does anybody have any questions for me? Somebody must. I answered your prime trade question. Cost of the software, $497, Wayne, lifetime. Includes 30 days free in the trade room. We had a special last week where we gave people 6 months in the trade room. If you buy the software today, I'll give you the 6 months in the trade room. Where do you go to get it? James, what did you learn today? I know you're a regular. To get the software, Wayne, let me think for a second. Chantal, I'll go over that. Chantal invented the trade that we're going to do at the end of the day today. Um, Tips on testing. Okay, James, good. I hope that was helpful for you. Where do you go to get the software? Wayne, I think you have to email me. I think you're going to have to email. James, I miss you. You got to jump back in. James, you got to jump back in. I'm sorry to say it's going to cost you a little more because we've updated everything, but it's so much better, James. We're trading so much smarter. Gerald would like me to show the 10-minute website one more time. I'd be happy to do it. If you want to buy the software today, Wayne, at the deal, you'll have to email me at help@10minutetrades.com, okay? Gerald would like to see the website one more time. Gerald, give me 1 second. I'll show you the website, but I don't want to show you my login. As tired as I am, I'm still smart enough not to show you my login. All right. So here's the website, Gerald. As long as you've created an account, don't forget, create an account. You can find the weekly market movers and download it each week. Okay, there it is. The video will be up there to watch. What's up, 10-minute traders? You know well, you probably don't know the deal. You're new. I make a video every week going over what I think will be the good events in the trade room this week. You can also download the weekly report by clicking the button. Now, there's no daily market mover today because it's Friday, so I don't have to post a daily market mover today. Okay? It's already been posted. James, what you do is just go to www.10minutetrades.com. That's all you got to do. I'll type it in for you. James, that's all you got to do. Okay? Gerald, is there anything in particular you wanted to see on the website? Anything in particular? The videos, like today, this video, for instance. Quick start. Okay? There's the videos. Quick start. And you can still watch the old ones. There's a lot of really good info in them. Okay? There's still a lot of good info. There's some old setups that one day we'll use them again, I promise. But I'll get this new quick start up there. If not today, probably by tomorrow. Okay? That's where the videos are. And of course, we'll be putting more and more videos up on the website. I also recommend that you become subscribed to our YouTube channels, both of them. We have new YouTube channels and old YouTube channels. Our old YouTube channels has a tremendous amount of videos. It has a ton of great videos. Let me see if I can show you, or at least put in this recording, how to sign up. Yes, I can. Our old and new YouTube videos. Let me just make it bigger for you so you can see it. Bear with me. It'll be worth it. Okay. YouTube old. Okay. Subscribe and turn on notifications. I still post there. YouTube new. I always post there. Please, I'm not begging. Please become our YouTube member. Okay? Become our channel member. It will help you. I post a lot of the trades up there. Ken, I think you better send me an email. All right? Because the special's over. I'm going to get yelled at for giving people the special. No joke. I did not plan on selling anything. But that's like our magic product. People love it. It's a great deal. Ken, send me an email at help. Let me write it down for you. Send me an email there. I'll send you the link. Okay. However, Ken, I'm not going to send you the link until you've sent me a note that you went to the website and created an account. Okay. Because otherwise, I'll never be able to enable you. Go to the website and, at a minimum, if you're going to buy our software, opt in for the weekly market movers and then send me a note that you did that. Okay. Yes, Alan. Alan, will you send me an email today? Maybe we can do it today. Alan. Okay? Send it to help at 10-minute trades. I want to get you going. I don't know what the problem is. Alan, I may not know the fix. We might have to have NinjaTrader come into your computer. When you go to 10minutetrades.com, Ken, just go through the questions. If you don't want to subscribe for anything, you know what, Ken? Let me think how I can do this. Ken, for now, forget what I just said. Just send me an email. Send me an email. I'm going to get into trouble, but I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link. Okay? I want you to be part of us. And it's one way I can do it. Just send me an email at help@10minutetrades.com. I'm going to get in trouble, but it's not the way we normally do things. All right. The other gentleman, I forgot who it was. Was it Wayne? Wayne, do the same thing if you want to do it. It's all if you want to do it. Other questions? I told you I was not here to sell stuff. I'm here to ask you questions about our software. Robert, right now we just finished the master class. If you opt in for the weekly market mover, you'll be on our main list and you'll get an email when the next master class is coming up. Okay? Right now, we just finished the master class. So I don't have one until we do a new one. It'll be soon. It'll be soon. All right? So just opt in for the weekly market movers so I have your email because we'll email everybody on our list that we're giving a master class. Any other questions, folks? Any others? I mean, we've had an awesome couple of weeks in the room. I mean, we've been doing really well all year. It's been a great year. We are trading very targeted. If you have to trade and be in the market every second, you're going to hate us. If you like to trade when it's appropriate to trade, you're going to love us because that's the approach that we take. If you like to trade when it's safe to trade, you're going to love us. Okay? I am very, very conservative in the room. I do not take super risk. And I don't let our members take the risk. I warn them. I always warn them. And we avoided a lot of bad trades this week by being conservative. Okay? Let me get our help back on the screen. I think I have a couple more slides. My boss will kill me. If I don't show them. Nope, that was it. I was hoping we had help at 10minutetrades.com. There we go. Help at 10minutetrades.com. Any last questions, folks? Any members want to ask me anything that you're confused about? I hope I cleared up. Oh, Chantal had something very important. Chantal invented the end of the day trade that we're trading today. And she does not like to trade today because so much of the day, the markets are so high. And it's a long only trade, okay? The Dow's up 468 points. So it's probably a trade to be avoided today. Is that what you're saying, Chantal? Probably a trade to be avoided today. The market's too darn high. We don't trade this trade when it's dangerous to trade. We don't want you to lose money. There's going to be another one next Friday, right? Help at 10-minute trades. That is correct, Ken. That's it. That's correct. All right. I promised I'd stay until there's any last questions. Anybody else? Dennis, I'm always glad to see you. Always glad to see you in the room. Anybody else with a question? Right. If there's a significant retracement before 4 o'clock, then the end of the day trade might become valid to trade today. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay? Anybody else? I'm ready. All right. I don't see any last questions. A lot of you have hung out. More than half of you have lasted this whole webinar. This was a marathon. This was a marathon. Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody for coming. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed doing this. James, I can't tell you how much I enjoy doing this and helping people. The last question, the last thing that people say, if you're so good, if you make so much money, why do you teach? I teach because it makes me a better trader. That's the truth. It points out errors that I make. It makes me learn my own strategies better. I love teaching. Anyway, I'll see you in the trade room. Next week will be a fun week. Thanks everybody for coming, and have a great rest of your day. And you're all invited into our last little trade room. That's at 3:45. So if there's a trade, we'll take it. If not, we won't. Everybody have an awesome day, and thanks for coming. Take care, everybody.